couple minutes late.
I know.
Our trusty listeners are really wondering where we've gone. Where are they?
I don't know. I tore everything down for the deal this weekend, so I just had to set it all back up.
Okay, well, did you get it all up?
I don't know.
Are we working?
I don't know. It looks like it.
Well, good.
I don't have the little sound clips and stuff.
Oh, you don't even have that? What are we going to do? Just talk to each other?
Drew, in the morning.
I can talk to you. I've got a couple topics I want to talk about.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, nothing pressing, but things sitting in the back of my head.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what, babe? Let me log in and see if this thing's working this morning.
Okay, you check to see if it's working. I did get a trusty listener send me a text message, and she gave me a really interesting topic, and I think it's something that we can definitely dive into. It's a little taboo. You're not going to like all of it.
Are we going to start out this morning with taboo?
I think so. Why not? No one's listening anyway. Who cares?
I'm going to let you start with taboo.
Okay, so I was just going to put it out there then. This is the topic that was thrown at me this morning.
Okay, I'm ready.
Brace yourself.
I'm bracing.
Because this is a hard one for both of us.
I don't agree.
You don't agree? We haven't even talked about it yet.
I think you're going to hit me with like pugs.
I love pugs.
Or
I want a dog so bad.
A Brussels Griffon or a pug or a Boston Terrier.
A mustache dog, but no, you've derailed.
Well, I don't know where you're going. I don't know if you're just. If
I'm blowing hot air up your booty.
I mean, you do that sometimes. I mean, like, no, not that.
What? Excuse me?
No, I mean, sometimes you just.
I blow hot air up your booty sometimes.
Well, in a manner of speaking, you build stuff up and then you're like, let's talk about the rain.
I'm not liking the rain. I'm over the rain.
I love the rain.
I live here for the sunshine and the heat, not for the rain and the cold. But no, okay, so the topic.
Are
right?
you serious?
It's a real topic. I don't know. And we can go in 4,500 different directions on it, but this leads into something that actually really did happen on Saturday. So let's talk about it.
Hold on. What do we do Saturday?
We were at the gala, the fundraiser thing.
Okay, so this leads into something that happened.
It happened at the after party. So
I was going to talk about
can you follow my mind where it's going?
I was going to talk about a request that I got at the after party.
That's exactly where I'm going with this.
Such a good request. I've never had that request.
No, the request is not a good request.
Yeah, I've never had that request in person, and it was.
Oh, it's happened not in person?
Well, I mean, not.
Oh, now we're diving into this. Okay, the topic is.
Hold on.
Can I go with my topic, or you just?
I'm just saying.
We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Okay.
So the topic that was sent to me this morning was couples and flirting. Okay. When is it too far? When is it appropriate? What's the line that's crossed?
Oh man.
And how do we handle that?
I seem to find that line.
How do we handle that?
I seem to find that line often.
You find the line
a
lot.
Right over it.
Yeah. And normally it's me like trying to kick you under the table, like just stop. For you, I feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not going to speak for you, but this is my interpretation of our flirtatious personalities because it's on both ends.
Yes.
Right?
You young lady.
But I am very careful to not cross lines.
Except when you leave your phone in the car in Chicago at 3 o'clock.
What does that have to do with crossing lines? I had too much to drink and my phone fell out of my pocket.
And you left your phone in an Uber, and the Uber driver would tell me is,
that's enough of that. That is enough of that, sir. You can take that up with me later.
I'm just saying.
Not on air.
Yeah. He wouldn't even tell me which hotel he dropped you off at.
Good.
He's
That's
like, well, sir, I just, I don't feel comfortable. I don't know who
good. That's
you
for the
are.
safety of the people in the car. They can't be giving you all the details.
I was like, I'm her husband. I called you on her cell phone.
How is he going to know that you were my husband? You could be some crazy person stalking me,
trying
to find a hotel.
How far is too far when flirting as a couple?
So, yeah, because both of us are kind of a mess. Okay, so I think it's.
This is a good topic.
Well.
Because
we're a little different though, because we're both okay. So the only way that I can properly explain how our personalities work is that we are two very independent individuals. I do not rely on you for my happiness, and you do not rely on me for your happiness.
Correct.
And with that said, we are free to be our own people with respect to our marriage, right? So I am going to have conversations. I'm going to definitely
What? Get distracted by text messages in the middle of the morning?
Well, because it has to do with the topic. I'm getting a little message. So
thanks a lot, loyal listeners. She's the one getting blown up with text messages.
So I think
all both of you that are listening.
No, I think that we're both free. The two people that are listening, free to be independent of one another and our thoughts. And I think that I trust you enough that you are not going to disrespect me nor my marriage. There have been times though that I have felt, hey, that really hit the line on me feeling disrespected. And
you
I
call
am
me out on it.
Very vocal.
Yeah.
I will not sit on that at all. You know that. If it's bothering me, I'm going to pinch you and I'm going to tell you.
It's true.
And there's no waiting, right? Like I'm not going to let me pack that away and talk about it later. I'm going to tell you the moment that it's happening. I just happen to be very confrontational that way. I feel like it's
We can talk about you being confrontational on Saturday later also.
Yeah. I don't like a whole lot of nonsense. You tell me what the problem is, we'll fix it. So, with that said,
I really wish all of our friends were listening to this, and they're not. There's a bunch of all of. Whoa, I don't want to just.
You went back to Jess in the morning.
Of all the times that we're chatting, man, I wish all our friends were listening to this one.
Okay,
right now.
so we both teeter-totter on some inappropriateness at times, and conversations. I think that we tend to be very open. Right, about how we feel about certain things. And with that said comes a lot of candid conversations. You tend to walk this line at times that is a little provocative, I would say.
Walk the line.
So, what happens with that, and in my opinion, is that at times things can be misinterpreted. And then you end up like the lady in the elevator that you complimented her perfume, and then she was like, well, hey, want to get off on my floor? And you were like, no, not what I intended.
That's not, I mean, that would have been such a great choice of words, though. Do you want to get off on my floor?
Well, what exactly did she say?
Hold on. I'm texting my friends. I'm saying, y'all, this is a great topic. Y'all should listen.
No, they should not listen because they're going to quote us later. And half the time I don't know. How is Drew provocative? Give him a cocktail.
Gio, I'll hit on you all day, girl. I don't give a.
You see what I mean? Like it doesn't stop.
Zero chance of her ever, but I will.
Well, yeah.
I will compliment
until it does, and then what are you?
There's no way Gio's gonna.
As far as perfume, it was a compliment.
Gio's never gonna go for me. I'm just gonna put that out there.
But this is okay. So it was not. It wasn't that the compliment was inappropriate. The compliments are just fine. You were on this mission, and I remember this. You were like, I'm going to start complimenting people left and right. I think it's a great way, whatever. And I said, you do you. I don't care. Compliment people all you want. And you complimented somebody in an elevator.
No. It started with the New Year's resolution. I saw something that said that it was like, hey, if you want to make somebody happy, just send out a random compliment. And I started a whole year where I said, you know what? Every day I'm going to compliment one person on something random. And that could be, hey, those are nice earrings, or those great shoes, or, your hair looks nice today, or that, something, but not like a nice ass, like something that was, that you could just, say to someone. So I'm in a trade show in Chicago, and I'm in this dump.
Oh, in Chicago, you say?
It was in Chicago.
Oh.
What?
Just Chicago happens
where
to be
you lose your phone in an Uber at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Chicago. Wasn't
anyway,
3
so
o'clock in the morning.
I'm in this.
Stop perpetuating this
2 o'clock in the
lie.
morning.
It was 12:30.
You're making things up now. So I'm in this elevator. Okay, look, she was hot. I'm not gonna lie.
So there's more to the story.
She was a beautiful woman, and she smelled great. Okay. And it didn't matter if she was pretty or not. It mattered what she smelled like. And so I turned to my left and I said something like, "What's that scent? You smell fantastic." Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all I was doing. Wasn't putting it out there. I was just like, "What's the scent? You smell fantastic."
Okay. And what happened?
Ooh, I got the eyes. Ooh, I got the eyes.
Were you prepared for that?
I was not.
Right.
No, because I was just trying to be cool. I was just trying to be nice. Like,
right.
Hey, man, like you smell great.
So sometimes maybe we really shouldn't. Right. Like, because it puts you you're in a pickle after that.
Been chasing cougars ever since.
Oh my goodness. But yes, Gio, to your point, stupid people who immediately like, hey, let's get it on. Well, no. I mean, yes and no. But if I had been a woman and there was a large, tall drink of water in the elevator with me who's telling me I smell great, I mean, maybe I'd be like, hey.
But this was, the other thing is this was 6:30 in the morning. Like,
well,
we were clearly both of us were going to work or something.
Love making knows no time.
Whoa, you just like that escalated quickly.
I'm just.
Anyway, my advice would be to compliment people. Compliment one person every day, but be ready.
Okay, but go back to the topic at hand. It's flirting in couples. Okay, so I can only speak on my behalf, and
I know who sent you that message because that's hilarious.
Okay, so then there's more to this. So. So we're both free to be independent people. I really don't care for the most part. For the most part, right? Like super secure. I'm not going to be offended.
You say that.
There are times
you say that,
but I'll tell you when I'm upset, and you'll know it. You'll read it on my face,
true.
And so will the rest of the room.
It's true. Speaking of reading it, though, I thought you were going to say you read in my text. Speaking of, you and I are totally transparent on our texting and everything.
Oh yeah,
you can look at my phone whenever you want. There's nothing hidden between you and I.
No, you can go through all my messages. Now, if you don't like them, though, that's not my problem.
Okay, go.
Okay, no. So flirting and how people can take that too far and what that looks like.
Yeah.
I think that it varies from couple to couple. We are just happen to be very secure. I'm not gonna, you banter on nonsense with all sorts of people, and it doesn't offend me and it doesn't bother me. The minute that it does, I do let you know. Hey, scale that back.
The problem is you don't know. You don't know.
And we're both in relationship type industries, right? So where our purpose, our job is to build relationships. It's networking constantly. And so at times things can get misconstrued, I'm sure, right? If I smile too much or if you compliment someone's perfume, perhaps someone feels a little like, ooh, that could go a step further. But knowing your boundaries, right? And knowing when to respect one another. And so I live by the model of like, hey, does this disrespect Drew? Does this disrespect my marriage? Does it make my marriage look more watered down if I behave this way?
Well, and I think what I was going to say, sorry, the people are asking me for a link. That was very nice. I'm glad. DrewInTheMorning.com. There's lots of links.
Really, no one should listen to this.
No, this is a good one. Because I flirt with all of our friends.
Well, you do, but I mean, it also saves space, right? Not in a like, ooh, I want to bed you, but like, it's just
funny.
You enjoy getting a rise out of everybody.
Yes, especially the ones who are not used to it. They get like, ooh, but see, that's the problem is that sometimes you reach a line that I'm comfortable with, that you're comfortable with, that everyone around you is comfortable with, but the person that you're talking to is totally uncomfortable with, and that's where it gets like, oh shit, didn't mean to offend. Sorry.
And so there's two funnels we're going to go down this path, right? Because you did recently. It was brought to your attention, not my attention. It was brought to your attention that you said something that offended.
So check it out. So I was. Someone pulled me aside and said, "Hey, you said something to someone that you
said it to a group of people."
Yeah, I was sitting with a group of people. We'd all had a whole lot to drink, which is not an excuse, but we had a whole lot to drink. And I went over to make small talk and banter with a group of people where I knew 75% of the people there, but I didn't know 100% of the people there. Right. And so I sat down and I was like, what's up? I said, okay, what are we talking about tonight? Because it was a group of girls.
We don't have to go into what you actually said because it's a morning show.
So that's how offensive it was. No, but I was sitting there and I said, what are we talking about tonight? And they're like, well, I don't know. And I said, okay. I said, well, new topic. Tell me something salacious. I was like, tell me something exciting, everybody. And usually that's like, oh, there's like something fun. And this one person was like, well, like what? I was like, well, I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
don't go into what you.
I was like,
said.
tell me something that you don't tell anybody on every day.
You were fishing for it, and
then that person said, yeah, like whatever. And so I asked a question, and
the question
75% of the people laughed, and then there was a person there that looked at me and said, "You're disgusting." And I said, well, clearly this isn't the table for me. I'm going to leave you girls alone. Have a good night. And I walked off. And I was like, whoa, whoopsie.
Right.
Didn't mean anything by it. Didn't mean to offend. And walked off and thought, group of people, group of friends, whatever. Well, that is not the case. Apparently this person turned around and has been telling everyone what a disgusting person I am. So much so that I even had a friend of mine who is traditionally an outrageous type of character come up and say, ooh, the heat's on you now. You said something. I said, what? How'd you hear that? And they were like, well, people are talking.
It's making it.
And I was like, wow, okay. So I said something. I offended somebody. But instead of approaching me, her or her husband or whoever else saying, hey, that was like not cool.
Right.
Instead of doing that, oh no, they turned into sixth grade gossip and started running around telling everyone, ooh, that person, blah, 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 blah,
and
blah.
how
blah,
do
blah.
I normally handle that? I don't handle
you don't.
that. Right.
And so the person that brought it to my attention said, hey, there's someone who said this about you. Apparently you made them feel pretty uncomfortable. And I said, oh my God. I said, hey, first of all, I would never mean to do that on purpose. It's not, It's just not my nature. I was there. We're all having a fun time. I didn't mean to make someone feel uncomfortable. They said, yeah, you should probably, look it up. I said, hey, but second of all, I will never apologize for being myself.
Right.
I'll never apologize for being me. So if someone took something that I said as offensive, and we're not talking racial slurs. We're not talking.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
I think
genocide.
I think it's sounding. I think it sounds really terrible. It was an off. It was an off. It
was an off color remark. I asked them when the first time they had anal was.
Yes,
That's
I
what
was going to say.
I said, when's the first time?
Inappropriate for morning.
Who cares? I don't give a shit.
Okay,
I said,
it was not appropriate.
Let's talk about the first time you had anal.
Right.
And that was.
This is not appropriate, Drew.
And everybody laughed because that shit's funny. Except for one person who was like clutching my pearls.
It's not always, but it's not funny. People are not ready to talk about their sexuality. People are not ready to talk about their experiences. And that's not for me or you to bulldoze onto anybody.
You're right.
So making a remark like that when you don't know everybody in the room perhaps is not going to be received well. So lessons learned. Lesson learned here, clearly don't leave Drew in a room with a bunch of people without me taking care of him, is the first one. Second of all, to know you is to love you. I don't make excuses for you. I think early on in our marriage,
you should never make excuses for me.
I was like, oh,
never. You should never apologize for me. You should never make excuses for me.
I don't, but I will say, next time there was a lot of wine flowing, I'm going to pinch you.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like, wow.
I get what you're trying to do. You were trying to, spark up the conversation and get everybody all wild. Well, I know what you were doing, but it was not received well for this one particular person.
It did not land.
So it did not land. It was not an okay joke. Imagine that.
It's funnier now.
Imagine that your joke did not land.
Listen, it's funnier now than it was before because now
it's not funny because you offended someone. We don't want to offend anybody.
Hey man, I'm not trying to offend anybody.
Okay, listen. So my problem with what happened after that was that it went down this rumor mill. Y'all, I'm too old to be dealing with nonsense. I'm too old to be listening to stuff about my husband offending someone. We are at the age now. We are grown-ups where you address it head on.
So I asked that person, I was like, hey, who was it that said that? I'd like to have that conversation. And then when I heard about it on Saturday at a gala, I went up to someone who I knew who was sitting. I went up to one of the people that was sitting there and I said, hey, listen, I know you were sitting there and I hope it wasn't you. I hope I didn't offend you because I like you. You're a nice person. We have a good time.
Right.
And this person said, no, I have like way thicker skin than that. And I said, okay, well, apparently I offended someone and I want to know who it was because no one's telling me. And I want to address this personally. Like, I want to apologize. Let's figure it out. And that person goes, well, I'm not comfortable telling you who it is. And I was like, okay, well then can you tell the person
to just come talk to you?
Come talk to me?
Yeah.
And the person was there at the gala, apparently. I think so. I don't
know. I ended up confronting somebody who you did not offend. It was somebody else.
So you went up to someone.
Well, I don't like it. So here's the thing is that I don't like the nonsense. Talk to us. Address it with us. We're super open, right? Like the worst that's going to happen is going to say, oh my gosh, didn't mean to offend you, right? Like no one is going to be upset because you're confronting me about something that I might have said. I live by that rule, right? The minute that I am uncomfortable with something, I say, hey, did you mean to say that way? Because and this is how I'm interpreting it. Is that how you meant for me to receive it? Because this is how I'm feeling about what you said. And I do that a lot.
Yeah.
I do it a lot,
all
right?
the time.
And
this is a fun topic, man.
And so I'm not, by all means, I'm sure I've said lots of things that offend lots of people and I'm never trying to. And if there is ever a day that comes up that, I've said something, just tell me, hey, Jess, that wasn't cool. Hey, received.
Butt sex isn't offensive.
Oh my gosh, maybe it is for that woman.
Well, that person
you don't know.
You're right.
Maybe she had a bad experience.
I didn't say it was a woman. You said it was a woman.
Person.
I'm trying to keep it. I'm trying to.
Okay, whatever. Moving on.
Okay,
but that's clearly not flirting. That is you crossing the line of being inappropriate.
It was inappropriate. I'll give you that. It was inappropriate.
It was inappropriate. Did we learn something?
No.
We learned we're not going to offend people that we don't know. We can offend people we know.
Fair
Let's
enough.
keep it there. I think our friends keep us around because they know you're gonna.
Whatever, man. I don't dude. It's.
No, it's not whatever. It's a thing.
It is.
Bother somebody. Enough for her to say something. Not once, not twice, but multiple times.
But here's the problem. It's valid if someone feels offended.
Absolutely.
But I guess my thing is take it up with me. Don't run around and be like, oh, right. Because I'll confront it directly. You'll confront it directly. I'll talk about it on a fucking podcast. I don't care.
Curse.
But I have no problem talking about it because it's not. I'm not saying I'm not going to apologize. I apologize for offending someone, but I don't apologize for the content.
Your personality is being crude. We know.
Yes,
we're aware.
Give me a break.
Stop cursing. So, okay, with that said, so there's
but
that.
But hold on. So there's a flip side to this.
Yes.
Okay, go. So back on the topic. How much
flirting is too much?
Because that wasn't flirting. That was more like grotesque.
You were trying to get a rise out of the room.
It was a shock factor.
Yeah.
It was a wine dinner. Everyone was
really misinterpreted.
Everyone was. You were arguing about politics.
Which I never do.
You were drunk and arguing about politics, and I was asking chicks about anal.
Don't just stop talking.
It's funny.
No, it's really not funny.
It's a little funny.
When you say it like that, it makes me say, shit, I don't want to be friends with them.
Whatever.
Oh, we're going to be just me and you by ourselves, and no one's ever going to be our friend.
Oh, my God. Where are we going? This opens up opportunities.
No, it doesn't. We love our friends. Don't hate us. We're learning, too.
Okay.
Back to what we were talking about. So then it can go on a completely different route, right? So then I think because we're both maybe so frank and open about having conversations such as this one, it leads to nonsense that can happen.
Yes.
Like all of a sudden, do we want to talk about the question?
Go. It was such a good question. It was.
You found it so flattering, which I thought was kind of endearing.
Hold on.
You thought it was really cute.
Shut the door.
Where are you going? Why do you have to shut the door? And she can't listen to this, but the rest of the world can. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, suddenly there's a boundary.
Well, yeah, because there's
a boundary.
The boundary is there's an employee sitting in the lobby. An employee.
Well, maybe you should close the door. Maybe you should censor yourself more. In reality, I don't know, all the time.
Love you, Victoria.
So you and your nonsense banter, and I don't even think that you were being a flirt. I think it was. I don't even know how this. Can you walk me through how this happened?
Let me see.
And we were in a safe space.
Yes,
it wasn't.
We were at a friend's house.
It wasn't.
This was after the gala.
Yes, we were eating pizza.
We'd ordered pizza at 2:00 in the morning. 1 o'clock in the morning.
It
was midnight.
Late.
It was midnight.
Right. Okay.
And we were sitting there. We're all hanging out, and I had my phone open.
The person's gonna be mortified that we're talking about this.
Oh, she knows. I'm not gonna.
She?
Do not call her out by name. That's
I would
so
never.
rude.
No.
Okay. She's such a great girl. I love her. She's so great.
Maybe
I think that's what it was. Maybe it was because.
You see now.
Maybe it's because. Yeah. She's great.
Anyway. No doubt. Absolutely. I wasn't offended. I laughed. I was like, did I just hear that correctly?
So
and I think everyone else.
I had my phone out and I was going to show my friends a picture of something. And one of my friends grabbed my phone and I pulled it back. I was like, nope, no. Not when I'm looking at photos unless you want to see something that you can't unsee. And I just leave that general because, man, I download stupid memes all the time and there's, whatever. And someone said, like, what, a DP? And I was like, maybe. And I grabbed my phone. And one of my super nice, wonderful friends who I've known for years.
Who's normally pretty conservative,
totally conservative, looks at me and she goes, I want to see your dick. And I go, what? And she goes, I want one. Show me. And I was like, what? Did you just ask me for a DP in real life?
And I think you were blushing.
She did. I blushed.
And then got kind of flattered, and then
totally
it was
flattered.
like, and then got a little nervous. Like, no, I'm not going to show you that.
Well, I don't have any on my phone.
That's
top secret. I really don't have any on my phone.
And then the best part of that is the people who overheard it
were
like, ooh, we want to see it too. And I was like, what does this say about society?
Now all of a sudden I'm sitting there and I've got three friends that I know, and all these females are like, well, I want to see it too. And I was like, you were so excited. Christmas tree.
Yeah, you were so excited, so flattered.
So cool.
Mind you, I'm sitting there the whole time,
just
right?
Laughing
I'm laughing because I was like, I can't believe that they think that he'd have one on his phone. It's Drew who's like, cybersecurity. Can't have compromising photos anywhere in the planet. We could be compromised. The whole world could see it. I mean, this is your day-to-day life. Like, photos, put them away, store them, hard drives. export, whatever. I don't know. Yeah. So it was funny to me to think like, oh, they don't even know him at all. Right. And then the other part was, I think it was just funny. Like, let's see how far you would take it, because normally you try to cross that line, I think, for shock value a lot of the time. So it was hilarious.
Right up until you get called out.
And right up until you get called out, right? It's like right until someone responds, and then you're like, nope, got to go home. Like, I'm done with this. And that is very true to who you are. So how did that end? We all laughed, and then the boys encouraged, like, "Oh, go download a picture." And
so then I went and I went to go download a picture
Yeah.
of something obnoxious, but I mean, it already passed.
Yeah,
the pizza showed up and whatever.
The moment was fleeting.
It's true.
You lost the opportunity.
I've been negotiating though.
Negotiating.
Yeah.
Now you're going to use it as currency, because apparently that's what the young kids do.
It's true.
It's currency.
Yeah, and this person, I'm not even gonna give it away. This person, yes, has something to trade. Is all I'm gonna say.
And we're back. Okay, so with that said, I don't know. I can't define what is too much. I can't define what people's thresholds are.
I don't know if it's freezing or not. I just reset it, so there we go. Sorry about that.
I don't know. I mean, I think everybody's got their own threshold as to what works and what doesn't work for us.
Okay,
but
so,
I go back
so we were
to
talking
just,
about,
don't disrespect me.
We were
right.
But that was cool because I wasn't disrespecting you. Then someone was asking me for the DP.
Oh, I know, and it was actually
so
really
great.
cute to see you so flattered, because we didn't grow up with that. Like we got married 13 years ago, way before nudes became currency, and that's how people looked at each other.
Yeah, man.
You actually had to, work towards it. You had to call them, maybe go on a date.
Yeah. Speaking of dates, I found one of my friends that's single showed me this new app, and I was so excited for them. Oh God, I don't remember what it's called. It's a new app, and it's for single parents.
Yeah, it's a single parent app, which I thought was interesting.
Dude, how awesome is that? It's for single parents, and he was showing it to me because he's like, dude, look, it has a schedule, and you can go in there and you can be like,
I've got my kids this day.
I've got drop off. I've got kids this day. I've got that day, and I was like, kudos to whoever came up with that.
Yeah, because I imagine dating with having
this is a single friend of mine who's
been single for a little while, and so he's trying to figure it out.
Yeah, man, and how neat is that? And then he wouldn't tell me what it was, so I had to go look it up. I was like, what is it? What am I looking for?
I don't know, but your search history is going to be really interesting. Couldn't be any worse than mine this morning.
Oh my God. Let's go there.
No, we're not going to go there.
That's not where you want to go.
That's not where we're going today.
That's a good one, man.
It is. Okay, so
hey, you know what? This is where we start the Patreon, and we talk about all this shit that we're not talking about here, but then we charge for it.
No.
Like an OnlyFans.
Oh my. Oh my.
What was it called? Hold on, I'm trying to find this thing. It was so cool, man.
Okay, so moving on to the next topic. Yeah, flirting. I don't know. To everybody their own discretion. I've got no help there. I live with you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. But again, I think the key thing is that it's about respect. I never try and disrespect someone, and there's friends whose wives and I will go back and forth, and their husbands, other husbands will go back and forth, but it's never.
No, it's never disrespectful.
Yeah, it's not. It's never meant more than skin deep. To get a smile or to make someone laugh, but it's never like, hey, what are you doing?
Right. There's no.
It's not creepy.
You're not creepy?
Well, I don't.
We could take a poll.
I don't think I'm creepy.
We could take a poll and find
but
out.
But then you ask one person about butt sex, and a fucking hole in the room, and it all starts.
Oh my gosh! Why are we gonna bring it up again? No one wants to talk about it anymore.
Because it's so really that's what you're gonna run around and you're gonna run around and be like, I can't believe he asked me. I don't even know who this person is. I don't even know what they said, to be honest. I don't know.
Maybe they really weren't bothered. They just don't like you.
Oh, that's impossible. I don't know, man.
Okay, well, like I said, moving on. Next topic.
Okay, what's the next topic?
I don't know. We talked a lot about that one.
No, you were on a roll there, and you can't just cut that one off. I can't find.
Apparently, the stream is freaking out. Nobody can listen to us, which is good.
I can't find this.
Okay, so why don't we also talk about, since we're already in that realm?
The stream looks good on Facebook.
I don't know. Apparently, it's freaking out. So, since we're already on that.
What?
Since we're already on that realm of.
Restart your computer.
It wasn't.
What?
And the person didn't say, to be fair, they didn't. I don't think they used that word. You're being really harsh on yourself. I don't think they said disgusting. I think they were just offended with what you said.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what they said
I think you were improvising words there.
That's cool. Just hey, if this message gets to you, whoever it was I offended, just send a text or something, or Insta or Facebook or whatever. You don't have
stop offending me.
You don't have to confront me. Just be like, I'm sorry. I apologize for offending you. Sorry, my bad. Like, nope, didn't mean any harm by it.
Right. Oh, look at you taking accountability.
Well, I mean,
I'm
not really trying to piss people off.
I really do like when people take accountability, which is next topic, right? Like own what you said and move forward. Right?
I don't you just deny that I said.
There's no denying anything that comes out of your mouth.
Well, okay, so maybe part of that is maybe it is who we are and who we hang out with. Drag all my friends into this.
No, I think
you get to a certain comfort level with friends where you go back and forth with banter, and then you bring someone in who's not part of that,
right?
And they go, oh,
right.
Not to say that that's what we talk about with all of our.
No, it's not. I think what happens is that we become. I'm digging a hole here. Yeah, you are digging a hole. We become really comfortable with who we are. Yeah. I think that's safe to say. And I am truly the exact same person with anybody that's around me.
This person could be comfortable with who they are
and I try not to, I read the room a little bit, but I'm not censoring who I am. I am.
In all fairness, I'm still not 100% sure who this person is.
No, neither one of us know. And I did ask somebody because I thought that it was somebody else. And I was like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? She was like, sure. And I was like, I understand that my husband really offended you. And she was like, no. I have no idea what you're talking about. Didn't offend me. And I was like, oh, okay, well, never mind then. But if we do ever offend you, let me know. Yeah.
Here's a rain check on the offensive messages.
I'll apologize at a later point. Okay, so maybe the boundary is don't ask for nudes, right? Because anybody else as a husband would not be really happy with that.
Well, okay. Well, here's the thing. So there were husbands there whose wives were in that conversation.
And I think everyone was a little shocked, like, oh, did she just really ask for that?
But I don't think my friends would actually think that I would.
Well, no, but we were all laughing. Like
it was single girl, you know who you are.
But oh my gosh,
you know what I want.
What? I can't even follow.
The person who asked me for the DP.
She does not want the DP. She was being funny.
Well,
or maybe she does.
She told me that she did text me, and she said that she would give me what I want if I didn't send her the DP. So that's kind of a letdown. Yeah. I still win though. So.
Oh my God! Because you're trading for food.
Well, now I'm trading not to send a DP for food.
Okay, so let's just live by this motto. Don't be sending DPs. Cool.
No, I don't. No.
Don't send DPs.
No, don't. Yeah. Oh, hold on.
What?
Hold on.
What?
So I thought about this because I sent this out to one of our to the Speedos and Thongs group chat. We have a group called Speedos and Thongs. It's a bunch of us that we're supposed to work out so that we could fit in Speedos and Thongs and go to Mexico.
What does this correlate with the get hot or die trying chat?
Yes, it's the same. Is
not the same.
No, Speedos and that's right. We need to combine these two. So
yeah, we do need to
get hot in Speedos. And we have get hot or die trying and Speedos and Thongs.
Yeah,
we need to do
get hot and die trying chat is like an accountability. Like you send your food, you send your weight. It's meant to keep us accountable.
Yes, and then there's this one that we have one on Instagram too. Oh, here it is. And there was a message that went out, and God damn it, this has some terrible freaking memes in it.
Oh my!
The turkey with anyway. The Sex Ed is an Instagram account at the Sex Ed, and it's an Instagram account that asks questions of the week. And there's always a question that's on there that's posed, and I forwarded this one to the group. Because the question is, I'm going to let you read it. Ready?
Okay. I'll read the question.
Okay. But ready? 3, 2, 1. Read it.
Do you send nudes?
Do you send nudes? And there's a whole discussion about couples keeping it spicy with each other.
Right.
And the responses are, I think, pretty down the road. Yes, but my face isn't showing in them.
Okay.
Fair. Yes, but I work as a sex coach, so I'm not worried about them being released. I used to when I was single, but I'm currently taken. But even if I was single, my self-esteem is shit right now. So if she wants to see him, I'll gladly disappoint her. That's my favorite. Absolutely love to keep the relationship spicy. Are they going to pay my bills? Yes, I'm in a very long-distance relationship, and it's something that's healthy and comfortable for us, and it helps fuel desire. And this person says, with consent, absolutely. I have. Only the worthy recipients. So that's a question. I'm not going to comment if you and I do. But, I wonder if couples do.
I'm sure they do.
We can't be the only
Let's
ones.
hope that they do.
I don't know. Part of me is thinking that my kids are listening to this, and I don't want them to hear me talking about it.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. But I would say that sometimes when you're married, it's hard to keep things spicy, and so you have to put an effort in. And so maybe maybe it doesn't have to be a nude. Maybe it's just like a I don't know. Maybe you're feeling cute that day. Well, send a pic.
Yes, always send a pic.
Right?
I love getting pic. I get a picture of you every morning when you work out, and I get a picture. of you. So does the internet, apparently. Pictures throughout the day. I love it. And
yeah,
I like to see
I
your
send
face.
pictures. I like receiving pictures. I like sending pictures. They don't have to be of the nude or lewd content.
Great.
I just like seeing what my friends are doing. I always like to do welfare check, wellness check. What's everybody doing? Send me a picture where you're at. I do that constantly.
We had the conversation last night about phone sex. About
someone did bring that up. Yep.
Yeah, and that's never been my thing.
I don't think you have to tell us if it's your thing or not. I think it's healthy for people to explore their sexuality in different outlets. Maybe that's texting, maybe that's a phone call.
I say that because I don't.
Because we live together?
No, because I can't comment on it because it's not like, it's like saying, oh, let's talk about the best pizza in the world. If I don't like pizza, I don't want to have a conversation about pizza. So I'm not qualified to have that conversation. So I don't feel like I'm qualified to have a conversation about phone sex because that's not my thing.
I don't think we're qualified to have conversations about anything, but yet here we are.
I'm not gonna. I don't do it. I don't even know how to. Like,
I think okay. So with that said, though, we do a good job about flirting with one another, right? Like
Absolutely.
I feel like it goes back and forth, and even the days that I don't like you, because that happens, right? There's days that I don't like you.
Well, I know who to text now.
And, oh my, send a picture. On the days that I don't like you, in all honesty, I still have to put an effort in because. Because if you don't like me back, then we have a problem, right?
That's
like
true.
we can fight, but
this goes back to the rule of our relationship,
right? Pay attention to me,
or someone else will.
Someone else will, and that's I think we both feel strongly about that.
Yeah, you know what was cool is that someone walked in on a date we were having the other day. Jess and I were out buying candles or something. Yeah.
That's right.
We were running errands and we had stopped to buy candles and we went on a date. We had a merienda. We went and had a
coffee and a pastry
in a restaurant that was completely empty. And we sat down and we were gazing into each other's eyes.
We were longing.
And then one of my friends walked in. She's like, "Oh my God, you guys are totally on a date." I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, we tried it. We try. It's hard. It's hard in the hustle and bustle, and it's really hard to, I think, pay attention to each other when there's so many things going on, right? There's pickups and there's drop-offs and there's work stresses and there's events and there's pressures and just lots of stress. So I think it's hard.
20 minutes to grab a coffee. That was all. It was a good date.
But without effort, that doesn't happen. And I was saying the other day how lucky I am because I do genuinely like you for the most 80% of the time. I really like you.
I'm just filling my compliment box this morning. Got DP requests. My wife likes me.
I like you today.
This is great.
I liked you yesterday with your little vest. I got all excited. I was like, look at you. Look at you looking good. No, but the point is that we still flirt with one another. We still like each other. We still banter back and forth. And I think that without trying, sometimes you can fall into a lull and then all of a sudden it's not happening. And if you are not giving me the attention that I need, which I need lots of attention.
You need more attention than most.
You don't know that because you're not with most. You don't know that. Maybe everybody requires just as much attention.
You require a maximum amount of attention.
That's not a lie. I require a lot of attention and I don't make any compromises about that. I am very clear with you about what I need and I lay it all out for you. Now, if you don't listen, that's not on me.
I really feel like you and I are almost fighting.
We are, right? Kind of. Are we fighting?
But there's people listening.
We're not fighting.
No, we're not. But it's like this is a conversation that you and I have.
Yeah, we have this regularly, right? Because can you imagine if you're not paying attention to me and you're so involved, and then someone else does?
Well, that's the thing.
And all of a sudden, I like it.
You always say it's good to hear you complain because when you stop complaining, that's when we have an issue.
Right.
Yeah.
If I'm taking it up with you and I'm telling you, hey, correct this, fix this, it's because I want you to listen to what I'm saying. I'm telling you that there's a problem and then I need you to meet me.
Figure it out, yeah.
Like meet me somewhere. Not to say that, and vice versa. We also do live with a full transparency where you can tell me absolutely anything. And that doesn't mean that I always want to hear it.
It's true.
It's hard to hear sometimes.
It's true.
It's hard to hear that, that I'm not
What?
perfect.
You're not perfect.
No,
Whoa.
not today.
I think you are.
Okay. Well, moving on. Let's change topics though, because this is not. We're not counselors. We have no idea what's going on. We were just talking about people flirting, and we know that.
Ask my first wife if I'm a good husband.
Oh my goodness! Let's not. Sure, she'd say we're a match made in heaven.
I don't know. But I think a lot of it goes back to respecting each other.
Right.
I think honestly, in what works for us is that I try to never disrespect you. And I say I try because if I do sometimes, if it's unintentional.
And there are times that happens.
I try and maintain respect. And so part of that is communicating with you and is making sure that we're on the same page. And,
right.
And even if I'm out, what's it, being a perujo?
No, that sounds
that
terrible.
Word?
Yeah, but
I know.
That's giving an impression. That's
no,
not.
even if I'm out talking shit or asking off-color questions or whatever,
Right.
it's never meant to disrespect our marriage. And I think that that's where it really comes to you and
that's
I
my threshold.
communicating and
Right.
being on the same page.
Right. And everybody's threshold is different.
Well, but it's also sometimes I felt like I'm not doing it, but you feel like I'm doing it.
Right.
And it's like, hey,
And
I'm
so if I
I'm
don't-
not. My intention is not that. And you're like, yes, but my perception is that you are.
Right. And I've told you,
Yeah.
like, hey, I didn't like that. That made me feel like this. Knock it out.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Anyway.
And I hope you listen. You kind of listen sometimes.
I mean, I just got in trouble
When did you
with a stranger for
Oh, yeah.
saying off-color jokes.
Don't make off-color jokes, Drew. Censor yourself. Okay, let's talk really quickly because we have Thanksgiving coming up, and I want to transition into a real topic, not our nonsense. Well, maybe more nonsense. Teaching our children to be grateful
For what?
for what they have.
Oh, you know what?
right?
Speaking
In the
of it,
spirit
look,
of Thanksgiving.
I took a screenshot. Look, along those same lines.
Okay.
Of being,
Is this relevant to what I'm talking about?
along being grateful. We were talking this morning. We were driving to school, and I'm going to start recording conversations with our daughter. By the way, because
today she wanted to talk about the ecosystem.
Her idea was, let's record the conversations. She said, "Dad, I want to record the conversations that you and I have in the morning. I think you should also put them on the podcast." And I was like, "Really?"
She's so cute.
And she's like, yeah. And then part of me thought about my dad and about how I've recorded conversations with my dad just so I can go back and listen to him.
Right.
So I was like, so I might start doing that. We'll see. But anyway, so we're talking this morning and we covered the most random topics.
Yeah.
And one of the things we were talking about this morning was net worth.
Yeah.
And describing to her what net worth was and how, some people have and some people don't and whatever. And it made me think, speaking about being thankful, sometimes you don't know everything you have for the people that have.
Right.
And even the people that don't, you always hear the story about people who say, I never knew that I wasn't rich. I never knew that I wasn't poor, or I never knew that I was poor. Like I grew up, I didn't know I was poor.
Right.
Just because we didn't have paved streets and, and we had water wells that we dug. I didn't know that was poor. I just thought I lived in the country. I don't know. And so it made me look up net worth. So check this out.
Okay.
So to calculate net worth, you take everything that you own and then you subtract what you owe. And then whatever's left, whatever dollar amount is where your net worth is. And people say you should be watching your net worth as well as your credit score and so on and so forth. And I was like, I don't know what percentage of people are within what percentage of net worth in the United States. So I looked it up. This is interesting. So if you think about everything that we own,
Mm-hmm.
total it up. Just quickly in your head, and then think about what we owe,
Mm-hmm.
credit cards, mortgage, whatever, and deduct that, and then you come up with a number that's in there. All right, this is very eye opening.
What is the
net worth? So I'm going to break it down.
What website are you on?
This was from the Federal Reserve.
Oh, okay.
So, let's start with the top 50%.
Okay.
If you total up how much you have, subtract how much you owe, and it is less than $522,210, you are in the bottom 50% of the United States. Interesting.
Okay.
$500,000, $522,000. If you total up what you own, you subtract what you owe, and it is $854,000, you're in the top 10%. If it's more than $854,000,
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's an interesting, like, that's a lot. I mean, number one, that's a lot of money. But if you think about it, a car, a house, what the value of the house is, what the value of the car
that's
is.
not even what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about, realistically speaking, in the area that we're in, like, what does that number even look like?
Well, that's the thing. Median home value, average income in this area is $27,000 a year.
Right.
And then average homes, I mean, what's the average home cost in McAllen, Texas is $216,000. So even if you outright own your home, that's only $216,000 to your net worth. So
right.
Let's say that you own your home, it's $220,000, and then you've got a $50,000 car, $40,000, that's $260,000. You're
still below.
You're still below the top 50 because of where we live.
With that said, right, what are we doing to teach our children to be thankful?
So hold on. So then I'm going to go up a little bit. The top 5%, if you take everything that you own, subtract everything that you owe, and it's more than $1 million, you're in the top 5%. If you can sell everything off today.
What's the top 1%? Because everybody's always talking about the top 1%.
The top 2% is more than double that. So if you take everything you own, subtract everything you owe, and you are left with more than $2.5 million, you're in the top 2%. $2.5 million. I want you to think about how many people in this area have even close to that. Isn't that weird? 1%. You ready? For the United States. If you take away everything that you owe from everything that you own, and you're left with more than $10.8 million, you're in the top 1%. The top 1%. 10.8, almost $11 million after you take everything that you owe, and you're left with all your assets, and they total up to more than $11 million. You're in the top 1%. How many people do we know they're in the top 1%? Now,
I don't know, but
so hold on. I'm going to tie that to one more thing, and that's about being grateful. But let me tie this to current politics. Right now, they're talking about the government shutdown, talking about raising a debt ceiling and everything else. So I was reading these statistics about the United States, and there's this chart that talks about tax cuts. I'm going to show you the chart because you can't see it. So you see the brown stuff or the gray stuff on the bottom? Mm-hmm. So 34% of what we owe, the national debt, is all other debt in the United, regular day-to-day average debt, 34%. Did you know that the top 57% of our national debt, 57% of our national debt since 2001 is $10 trillion. Do you know where that $10 trillion goes to?
No, where?
Tax cuts for the 1%. Tax cuts. Tax cuts have added $10 trillion to the debt since their enactment, are responsible for 57% of the national debt ratio since 2001. More than 90% of the increase of the debt is they talk about the one-time cost for COVID-19, but these are tax cuts that went in with George Bush and with Trump. And it's no secret Trump's giant tax cuts was a giant giveaway to the rich. 65% of the benefits went to the richest fifth. 83% went to the richest 1%. So you've got the 400 richest Americans paid a lower tax rate than the entire bottom half. Isn't that crazy? So there's all these people are complaining about, we're spending all this money, the national debt. Dude, 60% of it is tax cuts to the top half and 1%. Biden has proposed pulling back and repealing Trump's tax cuts. It would raise $500 billion, which is half, right, of $1 trillion over the next decade. But they're not doing it. They're saying there's more tax cuts for the people that are way up at the top, way up there. And to categorize that, you're talking about people. The people who get the tax cuts have $11 million or more in net worth after you subtract everything that they owe. So if you don't have $11 million in the bank cold hard cash, none of this affects you. Isn't that interesting? So you talk about being grateful for what we have. I mean, we live in an area where median income is low and housing costs are creeping up, and even with inflation and economy and all the other stuff that's going on, I mean, you got to be grateful day to day for freaking. I thought about that the other day. It's $6 Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be grateful that we can order a Starbucks. You know. Anyway, I thought that was pretty interesting.
I feel like I'm in trouble.
No, it's fascinating to me because you don't categorize
That's not
it.
where I was going with this conversation. By the way, you got really
people. And it's funny. When I lived in Dallas, people always say, Dallas is the home of the $30,000 millionaire, and you give people a little bit of money and they say, oh, I'm rich. Okay, you got $11 million in the bank, you're rich. Congratulations. You've got $2.5 million in the bank, you're in the top 2%. You got $1 million in the bank, you're only in the top 5% of the country. So
okay, so
it's crazy, right?
Getting back to
because I thought you and I was like, you and I are doing pretty well. Like, this is great. I saw that. I was like, okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. It's like,
reality.
Oh, that's not.
Work harder, Drew.
I need a couple more zeros.
Just work harder. What does our friend always say? Just make more money.
Just make more money.
Just make more money. It's not a big deal.
I just want to
make more money.
Make enough money so I can put a canopy over my back porch.
What?
That's a joke. Because our friend's Wi-Fi says he doesn't make enough money because they didn't put
I was like, what are you talking about? Okay,
anyway.
So moving on, you've derailed completely. No, that's not where I was going with this conversation.
About, to me, it was about being grateful for what we have.
Community events. What are we doing to help people? What are the turkey drives? Where are the kids lining up to make things?
OLS is doing a turkey drive for the Star Hope Center.
So is Morris. They're doing a turkey drive, I believe, for students in need, which is awesome. I got some information this weekend, and so collecting cans and gift cards for the protein, because you can't carry around a bunch of frozen turkeys, can you? That makes it a little difficult. So and then some people don't have ovens, right? So like you can't assume people's situation. So we're looking for the gift cards for the protein, and then canned foods. And
where can someone go to help?
You can drop stuff off at Morris Middle School. You can drop stuff off at Our Lady of Sorrows. Those are the only things that I know of that I'm currently involved in. I'm sure there's more, and if people want to add that to our chat, although given this morning's conversation, going into doing something good kind of doesn't always ran out. I think people are like,
the Star of Hope Food Distribution Center is a spot where you can drop this off. Food is distributed every Tuesday at 10 a.m. They start forming the line out there at 7 a.m. Star of Hope Center is located at 1017 Jasmine Avenue, 2 blocks north of Hackberry on the west side of 10th Street.
Yes, and then the food bank. The food bank gets hit, guys. Everybody, people need. So
Food Bank RGV is located on Cage Street in Farr, where the big interchange is. There's a street that shoots down south. Just go down there. It's on the east side of the road. The food bank is over there. They can absolutely probably.
So with kind of that in mind of being thankful for what you do have, and no matter where you're sitting on that list, if you can give something back.
Yeah, man.
Right. We try.
We do. We got to do something this year. We got this week and next week to do it.
We do. And then we've got family coming into town. My sister's going to be here. Your brother's going to be here, and that's exciting.
Oh, that's going to be a party. It's going to be great. We have a house full of people. It's going to be awesome, man. I'm excited. Except the weather's going to not be 60 degrees. It's going to be in the 80s.
No, but I'm not liking this weather anyway. I don't like it all wet and getting mud inside the house and whatnot. It doesn't make me happy. Oh. All right. I think there was other topics we were supposed to go over, but we have lost track of time. And
I know the one that I really the one that I really wanted to talk about is you remember when January 6th happened and that guy broke into the Capitol and he was wearing the horns and he had his face painted and he was covered in fur and stuff.
What?
Jacob Chansley. The guy that was like the QAnon guy who stood.
Oh, yes. How do we go back
QAnon shaman Jacob Chansley, who served more than 2 years in prison for his role in the January 6th attacks on Congress, is now running for Congress.
Of course.
In Arizona.
Of course.
And the person that he's running against has said that they are not going to run for re-election. The seat is open. So even though this is what I love about the United States of America, even though he's a convicted felon and he can't vote, that does not prevent him from running for office.
That's bananas. Speaking of bananas, you made some bananas Foster last night, and it was delicious.
It was delicious.
Delicious. So right. Gonna end today with a little sweet note.
Yeah, Bananas
Yeah.
Foster note.
Bananas Foster was super great. Thanksgiving dinner on 11/19 is presented by Rio Grande Valley Gives Back at St. John's.
They need donations as well. Okay, hey Linda, that's awesome. Post the information on where to drop stuff off. And if you can, tell them Drew in the Morning sent you.
Oh, my.
Look what we did last week. We talked about the election and the polls, and we saw voter numbers shoot up. So
Oh, my God. Can I be honest? Let me be honest.
Welcome, Rio Grande Valley, Hidalgo County.
Don't you dare cut this off because I do want to make another note.
And that's all the time we have today.
We waited to vote about last minute until actual election day. And let me tell you how annoyed I was.
Hey, man, you're annoyed because you have the opportunity to vote for something in your
I was
country.
Annoyed because we didn't go
Hold
the
on,
day
let me
before
find the world's smallest fiddle
or beforehand because it was over an hour wait and it was I had a minute. I was having a breakdown.
You did, but it was
in
fun.
the line.
We got to see lots of people there.
There were lots of people who waited last minute, but at least they made it out there. But let me tell you that I learned my lesson. I will not be waiting until actual day to vote. It needs to happen ahead of time. Early voting is real. There's no lines there.
Yeah, you know what? Aren't you glad we have the luxury to do that down here? Not like in Houston.
I'm in trouble again.
No, I'm just saying, like in Houston, where they took all the mail-in ballot drop-off locations and put it down to one, and all these Republican-led areas where they're trying to limit the amount of people that can vote.
Vote early every single time. That is the lesson that I learned. I was in line for an hour. It was exhausting.
And everything that we voted against passed, except for setting the maximum age of state. Oh, no, at all. Yeah, everything went yes. So, it's great, except for the maximum age of judges. That got a no. People don't want 79-year-olds as judges, apparently.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, all right.
Well,
I gotta go. I got a conference call.
Happy Monday, everybody.
Have a good week. Happy Thanksgiving. Oh no, that's next week.
Next week.
Whatever. Have a good Monday.
Bye.